Okay. Clappy, clappy, clap.
Oh,
What a day.
it's been fun, hasn't it?
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
Hi all, Andy here and welcome back to the channel. Look who I am here with today. We have had a hard day, but a fantastic day.
It's been fun.
Great day of working with this man, and I'm sure you all know Bryn from BWSTT. Bryn, have you been, buddy?
I've been good. Yeah, been good.
It's been a long day today as we've been doing the cam belt on the Roadster. I've had some great tuition. There's a great video that's going to be coming to Bryn's channel in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while to edit because we will film. I mean, I think that's just took us 5 hours, and the cameras were rolling for most of it. So there's a lot of footage to go through between three, 4 cameras. Yeah, it's a lot to go through to make sure we get all the angles so that it wasn't a wasted day, so that we can actually put together a good guide on how to do the job.
And that's been the first video I've done here where we've had the multiple cameras, and it's been a really good day. So I'm hoping what we've recorded today will be beneficial to you all. I'm sure it will be if you want to undertake this job. But it's not very often I get to be in the presence of TT royalty nowadays, as he's normally tucked away working on things or doing other things.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be an opportunity to ask Bryn about some questions about the TT and about himself that you may or you may not know, or some things that might be helpful for you in future. So I thought we would start with Bryn.
Yeah.
What really got you started with TTs?
Realistically, what it was, I was forced into buying a Golf GTI, a W-Reg Mark IV Golf GTI, and as I was looking through it, power upgrades and everything like that to do, it was always like, get this off the TT, get this off the TT, get this off the... I was thinking, just get a TT then.
Yeah.
And I'd always liked the look of them, and then at that point I realised, it was affordable, and we're talking, this is 11, 12 years ago or whatever, and it was, I realised, okay, I can get, a decent example for all right money. Went and bought the first one that I saw, which is
interesting.
Yeah, and then had to do so much work on that car, and then people were just asking me about how'd you do this, how'd you do that, and it just took off from there really. And there's not a single point that I haven't owned a TT since that first one. I've always had multiple. I own 4 at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've got 2.5.
Yeah.
One.
Well, I should say I've got 2 and 2 halves then.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got 2 breakers and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we class breakers as a half. I think it's probably a safe way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give me the top 3 things you think a new owner should undertake as soon as they get a car?
Yeah, just a good service. Because even if it's been previously serviced, servicing isn't just about doing the oil and the filter. It's about getting in the whole engine bay and over the whole car, and you're just looking at everything that way. As part of that service, I would say dropping the sump, and cleaning the pickup pipe, because again, you don't know how inside there's lots of bits. I'm pointing at this makes no sense, but inside there's lots of rubber that can break down. There's lots of things that could have happened previously over the years. Dipstick tubes could have broken, they could have been replaced. Bits could be in there that other people haven't removed. You just don't know. So as part of that service, that deep service, I would say remove the sump as well. That's one thing. Second thing would be take it for an alignment, or at least get the alignment checked, because they can feel like they're driving all right, but the difference between a good alignment and just okay is night and day when you really put in the car for its paces. And I've been to drive a few where people have, I've worked on them and I've driven them. People are like, this is how it's always driven to them. And I go, I would never drive it like this, but that's just how they're used to it. So you might not realise how bad it is. So a decent 4-wheel alignment, because that will also highlight if there's any worn components that you could benefit from changing. And then the third thing that you must do is give it a name.
Really?
Yeah, you've got to name your cars, haven't you? If it's, why not?
Do you know what? I don't think I've got a name for my car, so maybe that might be a little competition. So if you want a name my Silver Roadster, you can think of a good name. Then why not
Name
drop
the
me
papaya though. You need a name for the papaya.
Well, it's just papaya. That's what I tend to
Yeah,
call it.
there you go. Yeah,
But that's one thing we've got in common as well. We've both owned papaya cars,
yeah,
and they're definitely head turners, aren't they?
they are. Yeah, you turn up to a meet in a papaya and everyone's looking.
Although nowadays, whenever I go to a meet, there's another guy that's got one that lives not too far away, so he always turns up to the same meet. So they look as common all the other cars, but
Yeah,
it
they are
is what
super
it
rare.
is. Okay, so with rare cars, then, what is the doesn't necessarily need to be a rare car, but what is the one TT that you've not owned that you wish you had?
This is a tricky one. Someone actually reached out to me to work on. It was a ABT kitted narrow body. And obviously there was quite a lot of those kits that were available, because the wide body was obviously there was just 10 and that was it. The narrow body, there was quite a few more kits done. But someone reached out to me to buy it. I think it was on the Isle of Wight or something like that. You had to get a ferry to go and get it, and it had issues. And it initially put it up for sale, and I said, look, I can help you out trying to sort it. We never sorted anything out, and then he reached out recently and said, oh, do you want to buy? I'm just not in a position to buy it at the minute. I've got so much other stuff going on. But that's one that I think, yeah, I've probably let that get away. But at the same time, the other along that route is I had the option. Recently, you'll have seen the green ABT went to auction and was sold, and I could have bought that before it even went to auction. I was literally offered the car.
I think that came to your old workshop, didn't it?
Yeah. So I've done work on it. I've done a bit of video on it. I know the car. I'd have loved to have owned it, but at the time, I didn't have my premises. No, I just had the single unit. I thought, well, I can't buy that car because I've got nowhere to put it, and that's not the sort of car you just leave on the driveway. So,
no.
Yeah, so I did miss out on that, and the money it ended up selling for through auction. It was a steal, in my opinion.
I know 3 ABTs or ABT cars, as we call them ABT.
I go ABT. They are ABT. I'm sorry.
No, I call it ABT. It's an ABT car to me. But I know 3 wide bodies that I see quite regularly. I'm quite lucky like that. So there's the one that's marked up in the DTM livery.
Yes.
It's a really nice car, finished in Renault liquid yellow of all things. So it's been altered. There's another great yellow car up in East Anglia that's just been nut and bolt restoration. It looks an amazing car that Alex owns.
Yeah.
And there's also one based in Essex that needs some work. Let's say it needs a bit of TLC. It's got a lot of cracking on the carbon fibre and fiberglass on it. Fiberglass rather than carbon fibre, but it's a great project, and you just can't get hold of those cars. So if one becomes available, absolutely.
I should have pulled the trigger, shouldn't I? And just dealt with the fact that I should have just then rented another unit to do it, shouldn't I?
Well, we can't own them all, though, can we?
No.
So if I was looking to buy a TT today, what would the 5 things that a potential buyer should look out for?
Ooh. So I would say a common issue when you're looking at them is previous poor repairs. That's quite a general thing, but the amount of times that people bring a car to me for its first service, and to them everything looks normal. So what I would say is familiarise yourself with how the engine bay should look, and if the owner doesn't know what modifications have been done and why they've been done, that's a serious thing for me. So that's the first thing, is anything that looks different, because there's lots of them that modified. You know, as long as you know that's got a 3-inch intake, that's been plumbed correctly, blah blah blah, then you're okay. Rust on the ends of the sills is a really common one, and a little bit of rust you're going to see on all of them. But what we're starting to see now is that that's rotting further round onto the actual sills. So walk away from that, because there's plenty of them out there that are in decent condition.
I've got a video on my channel all about the common areas of rust on the car, so do check that out. I'll leave a link above.
Yeah. So that was 2 things, wasn't it? I would say just look out for anything on your test drive, any noises, bangs, rattles, and everything like that that sound substantial. You'll have little noises, but you want to be listening out for anything that's a real big clunk and things like that. But at the same time, on the test drive, the way that it goes through the boost, it's got to go through nice and smoothly. Any issues with onset of boost and feeling like it's jerking and things like that,
Could be a simple fix, but it could be a really expensive fix. So that's one thing to look out for, because if you've got to change the turbo, for example, that's probably
Big job.
Probably one of the bigger jobs. Check the service history, obviously. I know it's a generic thing, isn't it? But yeah, just make sure it looks like someone has actually cared about the car over the years. And then, I don't know, if you're looking at a Roadster, check the back out, behind the seats, all around where the window folds into. Make sure none of that feels wet. And just wet carpets and things like that on the Roadsters, because they're particularly bad for it once they get blocked drain tubes. So yeah, that'd be, that counts, doesn't it? All the five things.
I think that counts.
Yeah.
So what's the most common failure you've seen with a TT that requires it to be parted out, no longer on the road? So biggest failure. What sent them to the graveyard?
Most of the time when they're a breaker, a clutch is a big one, because let's face it, it's about £1,000, and yeah, a lot of people spend less than that to buy the car. So clutch is one that tends to put them out of action.
And what's been your favourite experience in a TT so far?
Ooh, I think the big Nürburgring trip that we did with everyone. I really love that. That was great, and I want to do another one. And I was going to mention that to you earlier. I was like, we need to try and arrange that again. It's harder for me now with the way my life is, but it would be great if we could do. Yeah, a load of TTs on a road trip to the Nürburgring.
It was a great weekend, wasn't it? I think we had a great time, and everyone came back from it saying, what a great experience. And I never got to drive a car around there. I went round there, but I didn't get to drive one. But maybe we'll change that next time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
What's the worst job to undertake on a TT?
I think it's anything to do with, well, I hate CV grease. So if I'm rebuilding CV joints, that's just horrible. But in terms of, I would say anything that requires access around the back of the engine without taking the engine out. So trying to get in to do things like get into the master cylinder sensors it's just a pain. Or trying to do stuff behind the firewall, well, on the firewall. So things like the brake and the clutch master cylinders, they're
I think
to get around there and do those sort of jobs.
That brake master cylinder is, I think, the last thing that people are going to try on the Papaya to solve that problem, sort of brake pressure problem. And I think that's why it's been left and not done.
See, I don't mind if the engine's got to come out, fine, you know what I mean? Like I don't mind doing an engine out, but to have to remove the engine to do stuff like that, it just feels like it's over the top. So for me, that's like, I don't mind doing clutches, cam belts, engine rebuilds, they don't scare me, but stuff like that where I've got to be ramming my fingers around tight gaps and it's just no good.
What would you say are the hardest bits to get hold of for the TT right now? Because a lot of bits are now obsolete.
It's just daft thing like gaskets. I mean, you can get decent aftermarket versions of most things. The aftermarket subframes are actually not too bad. The ones that are about £100 on eBay or whatever, they're all right. Everything lines up. I don't know how strong they are and how long they'll last, but everything lines up, which is a good start. But it's daft things like for a while you couldn't get hold of OEM Haldex oil and filter. You could get the filters, not the oil, because they changed supplier of the oil. And it took them a few years to sort that. There's gaskets, bolts, bits like that you've really got to. So the turbo bolts, I only use genuine turbo bolts and new genuine turbo bolts when I fit the turbo. But you can't get those from Audi anymore. I've got 3. I think on eBay at the minute, if you look, to buy 3 is like £45, £50. It's just
bolts have gone crazy money. Like buying those bolts for this job. I had to buy a whole pack of 10, but they're still not cheap. It is crazy.
So it's things like that, but because they only had to honour certain spares for like 12 years or whatever it was, so we're well past that now. There's loads of bits that they just can't do.
So where do you see the TT in the near future? So like second-hand prices, where do you see that being right now?
At the minute, it's awful. The whole car market is awful. But I think if you can find the ones to keep your eye on are the sub 100,000 milers. Because lots of them are now in 120, 130, 150,000 miles, and they're exchanging hands for under £1,000, and it's scary. But I think your 70, 80,000 milers in a couple of years' time should be worth £3-4 grand. That's my take on it, because there's more and more all the time that are being scrapped. We're taking the rubbish ones off the road. I'm helping with that process. You've only got to look at the S3s with Chris, who was breaking the S3s. He's got rid of so many values of S3s, and basically they're the same car. The values of S3s are really strong because all the rubbish ones are gone. So if we can do the same with the TTs, there's just a lot more to get through.
Yes,
get the rubbish ones off the road, and then hopefully a bit more promotion by people like us that are doing videos on the good sides of TTs.
Hopefully,
can hopefully build people who haven't had a TTs before perception of the value in the car, because they are at the minute there's so much bang for buck, it's ridiculous.
That's the thing, is it's so much car for your money.
Yeah.
And I think that's the attraction for people that are taking the high mileage, because it doesn't matter what they do to them, it's so cheap.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a nice low mileage, well kept example should be worth a good few grand in a few years.
Yeah. And you love a modified car, a track car to take to the Nürburgring. So what's the craziest build you've seen, apart from yours?
That
What's the craziest that you've seen?
Yeah. Well, Jermaine's, like 700 odd horsepower is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I've driven that,
crazy.
and it's scary to drive.
Yeah.
It's scary to drive. So yeah, that's probably Jermaine's car. Yeah. Which, if you haven't seen that car,
check out Brin's video.
Check out. Andy might be able to put a link to it.
I'll put a link up somewhere for
Yeah.
Brin's video, so you can check out Jermaine's car to put some context of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the big other question that we should ask is 3.2 or 1.8? What's the answer? I don't think there is one, is there?
There's 1.8. Honestly. So, although there's a supercharged 3.2.
There is the red one.
No. Black or silver or whatever. It was nondescript, but it's one that someone put a post up the other day. I've just been, I've inherited this car off someone else. It's got all these bits. What do you think it's worth? And I'm like, ooh, let's tell them it's worth $2,000.
Yeah, and pick it up.
460 horsepower,
Yeah.
Roadtrex supercharged.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But there was one that they built, a red one. I remember them building a couple of years ago, and I think, I'm not sure who built it, but it was somewhere up north. But they built the car, gave it to the guy, and I think he then sold it and broke it for parts. Literally a few weeks after, so I didn't understand. Although I have seen there's a crazy build going at the moment that Matt Hillard's working on. I don't know if you've seen that. So he's got TT Mark 1 with a TTRS engine in it.
I mean, it's it should bolt in.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think he's taken a bit of modification to do it, and I'm looking forward to seeing that car on the road, Matt.
That'll be
looks,
cool.
It should be a decent engine in the Mark 1. Let's see what goes.
That'll be cool.
Okay. And you dabbled with the Mark 2 platform, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you came back.
Yeah. Do you know what? So I've got a Mark 1 on my driveway that's been sat there for 3 years, and obviously other cars have come and gone around that car, and that car's literally just been sat there. It's looking a bit sad for itself, but still, I just look at that and I go, yeah, that's a nice car. And I miss having the Papaya on the driveway. Even though I didn't use that for ages, that's a nice looking car. And the Mark 2, I never really fell in love with the looks. Drivability wise, amazing. I've got lots of videos that I haven't even put out though, because mine is a Mark 1 channel, but I've got like a full road trip that I did around Europe. I've got a couple more ring trips. I've got track days, Castle Coombe. I've got other modifications I've done to it, but I just haven't even got the heart to edit those videos and put them out into the wider space, because I'm a Mark 1 guy. So it's a bit of a shame. I might get round to doing them, but then someone's going to look at that video, maybe like if I release that in January next year and go, we haven't had the car for 18 months, why are you putting that video out? So I don't know, but like, I had fun in that Mark II, and I pushed it. I mean, yeah, I got it to full on track weapon. I mean, it was good fun, but I just never fell in love with the looks of it. And I think that's important. If you don't look back at your car when you park it in a car park, and I'd done stuff to it, and it looks all right by Mark II standards, but it still just hasn't got.
These cars, it doesn't matter what angle you look at them, they look amazing.
Yeah, they haven't got a bad angle.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes them so unique, and it's a pleasure to be part of this community and for what Bryn does for the community. And what he doesn't know about cars is not worth knowing, because he's come here today and taught me how to do this cam belt. So I can't thank him enough for that and spending time down
there. It's been
there.
great fun. And you having this engineer that's just out of shot, that's ruined, that we can use to show the angles. I hope that we've made a good video out of that, and you guys can be the judge of that in a few weeks' time when the full edit's ready. But it's been great for me to be able to come down and have someone that knows their way around a toolbox that I can just say, do this, do that, do that.
Debatable.
But you've done it. We started it up and it runs. So
it's a good start.
that's the main thing.
Yeah, well, so all it is really, at least for me to say, is a massive thanks to Bryn today. I'm
Not a
so
problem at all.
glad he came down to see me. It's
Yeah.
been a long time to get him here. We've been trying to get him down for a couple of years, but don't be a stranger. And know
No.
where we are now, and obviously
I
we're
do.
not too far from
Next
Dover.
time you do your little meet up on the whatever you call it,
Springfest.
Springfest, yeah. I'll try and bring your car out
Please
for
come
that.
along, yeah, and
Yeah.
bring the family as well. 'Cause I'm sure
Yeah,
they'll
good laugh.
enjoy a cake and stuff in the garden. So
that'd
yeah,
be good.
but thanks a lot. So
No worries.
thanks all for watching. If you've got questions for me or Bryn, then please leave them in the comments below. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Cheers.